Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be drawing using Faber-Castell classic pencils again, but this time it's only a 12 pack and it's a small short pencils. So I just wanted to prove to you that you don't need a lot of pencils to do a drawing, and these pencils come in a pack of 12. Unfortunately, I've noticed that there's only 11 in this packet. So I've lost one somewhere along the way. Now I'm pretty certain that it's a red pencil. So I will take out a red pencil from my big box. So here's my big tin of Faber-Castell pencils. And I will just take out what I think is the main red. These all need a sharpen, but taking out the long pencil actually does really illustrate the difference in size in these pencils. I have to admit that I don't like working with such short pencils, but if it's all you have, you can still produce a perfectly reasonable picture. They all need sharpening. You want to start off with a really nice sharp point. So here they all are sharpened. Now I'm not going to use all the colours, and I think the gold is a bit of a waste of a colour from this packet. But maybe kids like to have gold, and these are primarily targeted at kids. I'm just doing a quick shade chart of all the different colours that are actually in this packet. And now I'm starting my drawing. I'm drawing it with a dark brown crayon because I don't like doing portraits using a graphite pencil, because the graphite dust can often get in the skin colour and muddy it a bit, give it grey tones. So my favourite subject for portraits, a baby. And this is my baby, who is now 31 years old. So not so much of a baby these days, but he's still cute, I think. But I am prejudiced. Now I've started off using the nearest to a flesh tint that they have, and this is just to kind of give an overall colour to the whole of the face. And then defining the shape of the head with a dark brown and coming in with a black. He didn't have an awful lot of hair, so really it's just kind of the shadow that the hair makes. But it does give a good outline to the head, the skull. And things like at the bottom of the hairline where the ear joins it, that's where it can be quite dark because the ear actually offers a shadow. So that makes it more three-dimensional by putting that shadow in. So I'm also using the orange colour and the brown. Those are the main colours that I'll be using. I also use the red a little bit. And black. A lot of people don't like using black. They say, oh, it makes your picture look dirty. But I think for the darkest shadows, it actually has a place. And I use it. But it's entirely up to you. So like for the back of his mouth, which is probably the darkest part, I do use the black. Then I kind of graduate it into brown and then into red. And as always, you're gradually building up layers. You're not doing it all in one go. And see there, I'm even using some yellow because I don't have like my favorite color for flesh, which is yellow ochre. I've had to use yellow mixed with brown. You don't want to make his face look too yellow, but you do want to tone down that pink, which is very pink. I will also use a little bit of blue. And if you get the shadow under the chin, that just makes his neck recede and his face kind of come forward and gives it a more three-dimensional look. Now coming into the eyes, the whites of baby's eyes are actually quite blue. And at this stage, he still had blue, that sort of kind of dark bluey eyes. He now has brown eyes, but at this age, he still had some blue in his eyes. And the whites of his eyes in that actual photo, they weren't white, they were kind of blue, which reflects kind of the light. Now in this set, there is actually a flesh colour, and there's also a quite a purpley kind of pink, which I've used both. Flesh colour, you can't just do it one colour. As I say, that you're building up layers all the time, so you want to use that flesh colour maybe as a base, but you want to build up with other colours on top of it because you've got the colours of the shadows. And remember to leave some highlights, like he has highlights on his cheek and on the end of his nose and to some extent on his chin. And remember, even with coloured pencil, the white is the white of the paper. You can add white using a Posca pen or a gel pen at the end, but if you can leave the paper white, then that will be even better. Just coming in and putting a little bit of detail in his ear. Doesn't need an awful lot. And what I did notice with this picture, again, is that my glaucoma is actually, when I hold the picture up, it's slightly off again. It's at an angle. And this is really weird because I never used to draw like this. But as I've said in quite a few of my pictures, my portraits in particular, it shows up, I have noticed it happening more and more. So, in fact, the next two portraits that I've done for YouTube, I've actually held it at 90 degrees and drawn it, and so the drawing won't be actually on the video, just because I didn't have my camera available at that angle. So here I'm coming in and colouring in his little romper suit, which was a blue seersucker with a white cotton collar. I found in those days that I had 3 boys and 1 girl, and the clothing for boys, there was like 1 rail for boys, newborn baby boys, and about 6 rails for baby girls. So it's not that boys need less clothes, it's just that there's less choice. I don't know if that's still the case. And this was my 3rd baby boy. So the clothes, a lot of the clothes were hand-me-downs. I think I bought this one for my 2nd son. But it just goes to show what you can do with such a tiny packet of pencils. And so you don't need to invest an awful lot of money in coloured pencils to do a reasonable drawing. So particularly if you're starting out, just buy, reasonably good. I mean, I think these pencils, although they're cheap, are really good. So, practice with these before you spend hundreds of pounds on a professional set. And even if you're just colouring in those wonderful mindful colouring books, this is quite a useful set to have, because A, it's portable, and so you can take it anywhere with you, being so small, and just have fun with them. I have to admit I'm becoming more and more addicted to coloured pencil. They take longer, I think, than watercolour, but I do find them very fulfilling. When you put the shadows, like the shadows underneath the collar, all those things are the things that really make a drawing pop. And whenever you look at a photo that you're going to draw, look at something from life that you're going to draw, ask yourself, what is the lightest thing in this picture or this scene that I'm drawing? What is the darkest thing? The lightest thing, if you're doing watercolour or if you're doing coloured pencil, will be the white of the paper. The darkest thing, you need to put your darks in at some point, and then that will be your kind of reference point. Nothing will be darker than that one thing that you have decided is the darkest in the whole picture. But you will come back in and darken things. You can't lighten them, but you will come back in and darken things. So all the way through you're doing that, just adding more layers. So I'm going back into the hair. Because you notice things, the more you look at a picture or a scene, the more you notice things that you didn't see at the beginning. And And also, as you change one thing, then you have to change something else in relationship to it. But I'm quite pleased with this little portrait. So I hope you've enjoyed my video today, and if you have, please consider subscribing, and see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.